Okay, I think I finally have this thing at a point where it will work. I've wanted to do a reaction to this for a while, and a lot of people have been doing this, but I thought it might be fun just to do it really quick, especially for the long trailer. This is 2 minutes and 31 seconds, so in some ways we're getting a lot more than what we got originally got with the little teaser trailer. But I'm just gonna check it out, go through it, look at some stuff because this is really pretty. It's pretty to look at.
There was a time when the world was so young.
Closed captioning, no.
There had not yet been a sunrise. But even then, there was light.
There are the two trees. Alright. Just look at all this, it's so pretty.
Elves have forests to protect. Dwarfs their minds.
Cool.
Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other. We're safe.
You know, I actually like that they included the Harfoots in this series. And I've heard some complaints about it, like, oh, this is so annoying, and why are they even in here, and so on and so forth. But this is, these are the hobbits. These people will eventually become the hobbits. And these are actually one group of little people who come together in the Shire to become what will eventually be the Shire and the hobbits. The other ones were, I can't remember, I think the Fallowhides and the Stores or something like that. I would have to look it up. Some of these things I just don't have off the top of my head. Hi, kitty. You want to say hello? Yeah. But I think it's actually really cool that we get to see some Hobbit origin stuff. And, a whole bunch of other origin stuff that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to see. I mean, at this point I just don't know if we're gonna get, like, any other Tolkien stuff than this. I mean, there have been people talking for years that they should make a movie of the Silmarillion, but I just don't know if that's going to happen or even if that should happen. But anyway, we'll carry on.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel. Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
It is over.
You have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen
Wow, that's really cool.
what I have seen.
Whoops. Yeah, I actually like Galadriel, and what they've done with her in this. Because I think what some people don't realize is that when we meet Galadriel, in the Lord of the Rings and stuff, she's not young, perky, get things done Galadriel anymore. She's more like, Florida retiree Galadriel, who's seen some shit and some things, and she's just done, which is why she's decided to go to Valinor after everything is finished, and hopefully Aragorn becomes king and whatnot, because that's the thing about immortals, is just because you're immortal doesn't mean that, you don't, grow weary of the world. You live forever. It's not that you don't get tired. I think that's the thing that most people don't realize, is when you live forever, it's just a constant litany of human suffering. And some people just don't want to experience that forever. So that's actually why the elves go to Valinor. They're just done with the rest of the world. And it's like, it's time to go now. We're going to go someplace else where there aren't these problems. So, the fact that she's a warrior and she's still running around with her sword and whatnot, um, I think people need to understand that this is a much younger Galadriel. I mean, she's still got that. It's not that she's lost her fire later on, but she still has the need to go out and fight battles and do things. And it's not so strange that, she would be a warrior in this world. It's not even strange that she would be a woman warrior in this world. I don't see what the outrage is over her wearing armor and having a sword and doing battles is, because that's kind of who she is and who she was, and she's always fought for Middle-earth. It's just, by the end of the Third Age, she's just tired, and that's okay. It's just time to be done with that. It's time to be done with the problems of mortals. It's time to be done with protecting the world from darkness. It's just time for her to go to some place where things are quieter. So, yeah, I'm not surprised about that. I'm not worried about it. I'm not bothered by it. Things were different in the Second Age than they were even in the First Age, and certainly from the Third Age. I mean, she's settled down by the Third Age in Lothlorien, and she's just the well-respected wise woman. And that's just kind of her role from kind of then on. She's already had her problem eras, and it's like, the rest of this, we're just going to help things along, but we're not going to fight anymore because it's not our battle. I think that was most elves by the Third Age. They were just, no, we're not going to deal with this anymore. Anyway, it's a cool ship.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people,
That's so pretty.
but all peoples.
That guy looks familiar, and I can't place him.
The past is with us all. The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it. This could be the beginning of a new era.
Somebody pointed out that phrase about the past being dead was very similar to what Kylo Ren said in, what was it? I think The Last Jedi. I don't know. Which is true. But, it's not exactly the same thing. But I can, in a way, understand the sentiment even in this world. That the past was the past. What's happening now is far more important than dealing with the issues of our elders or whatever. We have to deal with the now, which just makes sense. I mean, man's living in the present. There's nothing wrong with that. And this is just weird, this whole thing where this dude is doing this flip. But it's okay, it's not a bad thing. I don't know, well, I'm not going to get into that. But I do like this little thing back here with the elves around the table where they're lifting up their swords. This is a cool little bit because it's showing some kind of solidarity for something. Whether it's we're ready to fight, we're ready to go, maybe they're making an alliance with somebody. I just don't know. But it's cool to look at. These guys raising their swords like, we're with you. And that's just, I like it. It's got that good old Lord of the Rings kind of feel to it. The whole, you have my sword and you have my axe and you have my bow and so on. It's just kind of the same kind of feeling to it. Woo! That is wild. Just look at that fire. Okay, no, stop. It's just gonna start again. Maybe I'll just and let it go. Anyway, just looking at this stuff, I just love this shot of the eyes. It's just great. It's it's very nostalgic because people who love Lord of the Rings movies, they kind of get that feeling from a shot like that because it feels reminiscent of something that was in the old movies. And if I remember correctly, the first season of the show was shot in New Zealand, so again, we've got that kind of reminiscence. There were also a lot of people complaining about the fact that there are all sorts of people of color and stuff in this show, and to be honest, that's not a real issue because the fact is that medieval Europe, it was far more diverse than apparently some people think it was. I mean, there were black and brown and Asian people all over the place. And of course, Tolkien knew that. He just didn't explicitly say it because I don't think he thought he had to. I mean, he probably figured, the historian that he was, that people would just assume, this is based in medieval Europe, or it's a story kind of based around that, and like everybody knows that medieval Europe was a very diverse place. Come to find out that I guess some people just didn't know that, or they do, and maybe they just racist. I don't know. But all these complaints about, well, there are black people here. There's not supposed to be black people in Tolkien's world. It's like, really? Really? That's what you think? It's like, it's so stupid. It's just so feckin' stupid. Because of course there were black people. There were black people, brown people, just all kind of, no, we don't want to watch that. I think I've already watched that. I've watched quite a few of these. But to be honest, I'm really excited. I remember when I had that first image as the background for my computer desktop. I was just so thrilled about it. And it looked like there was one of the eagles. The whole fuss about the eagles and everything, and how they're just always around, but they never do anything useful. Which is not really true, but it's still kind of funny. It's a long running kind of joke amongst Tolkien fans and movie fans and everything. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those funny things. Anyway, I like that Galadriel is still worried about the enemy and where the enemy is and what the enemy is doing, because she knows that there's still somebody out there. Because of course Sauron is. And of course it's gonna be a huge worry, because as much as he's not the big bad that Morgoth was, he's still a big bad. And he pretty much screwed everybody. That's also something I'm excited to see, see how much they get into the dwarves and their minds and everything. And at that point they would still be in Moria, I think. Yeah. I don't know, I get my timelines confused. But anyway, I'm still excited about this project, and I'm not going to say anything about whether I think it's going to be good, whether I think it's going to be bad. At this point, it's just a trailer. And let's go ahead and... No, stop that. Let's go ahead and wait until it comes out in September and just see how it goes. And then that's when we can really form an opinion about whether this is going to be good, whether it's going to be bad. You have to see it, because there's not a lot you can judge from a trailer. And of course there are going to be people who are and they're gonna say, well, this is trash because of these few clips that we get in this trailer. But that's not how it works. That's not how anything works, especially not when it comes to movies and stuff. You have to wait and you have to actually watch the damn movie or the damn show. Otherwise, you're just making assumptions. I think a lot of these people are just making assumptions about the stupid things that they're complaining about. And I think the people I'm talking about is the same people who are complaining about people of color in it, and complain about Warrior Galadriel. And they're just so bothered. I just find it hilarious, actually. Because what's wrong with Warrior Galadriel? I mean, even the Lord of the Rings had a warrior woman in it. They seem to have forgotten Eowyn. But, yeah, it just seems ridiculous to me. But I like what I see so far in the trailer. There's a lot of stuff in there that's just so nostalgic, reminiscent, and so far it's pretty to look at, which is good, which is really good. And actually a lot of these actors, I can't remember what characters they're playing, which is the downside to having large ensemble casts, is sometimes you don't remember who is who. Like, the only guy I recognize from all the elf characters is the guy who plays Elrond. That's pretty much it. And all these other elves and stuff, I like them, but I can't remember which characters they're supposed to be playing. It's just so confusing. But yeah, we'll have to wait and watch and see how things go, and hopefully it'll be great. So let's see, was there something else? I don't think so. But yeah, so far I am happy. I am happy with this. And personally, I can't wait to see the Harfoots. I think they're going to be great. Because if there's one thing I love, it's freaking hobbits. I do, I just love freaking hobbits. It'll be interesting to see kind of a hobbit origin story. And I don't think these are the same people um, that Gollum was a part of, because originally Smeagol was part of a small people who lived up by the Great River, up by the Anduin. And I'm not sure which small people those were. I would have to look it up, but um, this is definitely one group of them. And of course, all of them came together eventually into the Shire, or the area that would become the Shire. So it's just great. It's great to see. So anyway, guess that's it. And I will talk to you all later.